Bureau, Director William T. Cunaro. Sir?
Good morning to everyone. To our beloved Honorable Secretary, Roy P. Sinato, Undersecretary Bini P. Jordan, Undersecretary Juan Miguel P. Puna, fellow colleagues in the department, our respective colleagues over at the Philippine National Police, Lieutenant General Denr, Deputy Chief for Administration, Brigadier General Rodel Sermonia, Director of PNP PCRD, Brigadier General John Mitchell D. Hamid, Director of the PNP Maritime Group and his team, Attorney Eric M. Burke from the MPI Environmental Crime Division, partner organization, March Philippines, Eco Waste Coalition, Zero Waste Philippines, Smoky Mountain Cooperative, Open 4 and Biglas Kababaihan, GPIC, Biglas Kabataan, HCWH, samahan na namangpakan ng Gerwan.
Good morning, Carlo de Mesa.
Among other ways, ladies and gentlemen.
Tayo sa DNR, no?
Please allow me to say a few words officially mark the beginning of this dialogue towards stronger and sustainable solid waste management. Coinciding with the passage of our Republic Act 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act 2001. On this day, 20 years ago, the Philippine government through its legislative body passed the Republic Act number 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act 2001. This was around the period when most of our existing environmental Republic Act
Wilfredo Salsos, good morning po.
Republic Act 1975, the Clean Water Act 2003, and Republic Act 9512 for the National Environmental Awareness and Education Act 2008, among others. However, compared with these other round environmental laws, the Republic Act is one of the most striking policies to be implemented by the department because of its position and the nexus of the stakeholders involved in the consumption and production of food, as well as the waste collection, disposal, treatment, the waste that comes from the food. For its successful implementation, we have got to go beyond enforcing regulatory mechanisms. For industries and involve ourselves in the community action. As like the city, it takes a village to raise a child. So Republic Act 9003 also maintains a lot of stakeholders engaged to ensure that the waste management practice is
Okay, Eugene Permain, good morning.
This means that not only do we coordinate with the other national government agencies such as DTI and DIPG, but we must also work within the capacity.
Nandito na rin po si Secretary Roy Simato, saka si PNP Chief Guillermo Eliasar.
And private entities such as manufacturing. Thus, after the 20 years of trials and error, the communications and miscommunication of many alliance at times community, through the good and the bad, we find ourselves here all together, engaging a dialogue over what we can partner into this wonderful good, that uniting us through our shared goal of keeping a flame and a flame for that. We thank you for this show of support and for our employees, partner communities, waste management champion. Let us keep an open mind during this dialogue and continue working together to move the solid waste management agenda forward. Thank you very much and good morning again.
Alright, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the opening message of the Director of the Environmental Management Bureau. Thank you very much, Director Cuñado. Maraming salamat ulit, sir. And before we move on to the next item of our program, we also would like to acknowledge our friends, colleagues, and
conference
partners
about
via Zoom.
sustainable
With our
solid waste
verified mga
management
colleagues
or
and friends via Zoom, right?
zero
So
waste
upon checking a while ago, we have a total of, it's around 300 or more than 300. So good morning po sa inyong lahat. Ayan, can you all wave your hands? Hi, good morning. Ayan, magandang umaga po and standby lang po kayo. We have a lot of surprises for all of you. And of course, to all our guests and officials who are here with us today, good morning po sa inyong lahat.
Yes, Carl. At nais natin ipaalam na yung mga nasa Zoom ay Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao ang nag-record sa atin dyan. So this is a nationwide event. Okay? So now, to give us next his speech, his message, may I call on Undersecretary for Field Operations and Environment. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a virtual round of applause to Undersecretary Juan Miguel Ticuna.
Thank you very much, Carl and Steve. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Before I give my message, allow me to acknowledge the guests who are here today. First of all, the Honorable Secretary of Agriculture, Undersecretary Denr Lieutenant General Guillermo Eleazar of the Philippine National Police, Brigadier General Rodel Sermonia, also of the PNP, General John Mitchell Hamili, and his team from the PNP Maritime Group. Morning. Attorney Eric M. Nuki, the National Bureau of Investigation. Morning, sir. Engineer William Cuñado, who spoke earlier, of the Environmental Management Bureau. Eileen Lucero and Eileen Season of Eco Waste Coalition, as well as all the other civil society organizations who are with us today, and the non-government organizations. Ms. Sherry Ann de la Vega will be properly introduced later in the program. Sa lahat po ng mga kasama, the DN of the EMB, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. First, allow me to thank the organizers for staging this dialogue to assess the 2 decades of accomplishments and challenges, as well as the strategic plans of the administration for the implementation of a further effective solid waste management. The Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000, or Republic Act 9003, is on its 22nd year now, and we can say at least that we have made considerable amount of progress in undertaking a colossal responsibility to manage the country's solid waste. Everyone knows that to institute a functional solid waste management system as an effort to protect the environment, this is never easy. 22 years ago, prior to the enactment of RA 9003, highly urbanized cities in the country had long been subjected to a garbage crisis due to the absence of a functional system of waste reduction. We have become sanitary landfills are now being constructed in various local government units nationwide, replacing open dump sites. Recycling of waste has drastically improved, and many local government units are now compliant because of continued technical assistance and provision of cheaper ways to address waste generation. One of the key elements in RA 9003 implementation is the responsibilities of the local government units, government organizations, and the private sector to seriously and effectively address solid waste management. More importantly, we value the renewed commitment of our LGUs to strengthen responsive governance through their 10-year solid waste management plan by adhering to the 25% waste diversion from agricultural facilities through reuse, recycling, composting, and the establishment of reclamation and buyback centers for recyclables. We have also strengthened regional, national, and local efforts to address the issues of waste, in particular plastics, in marine and coastal environments, and the progressive implementation of extended producer responsibility by encouraging producers, importers, retailers, and other relevant stakeholders to fulfill their responsibility for collecting, recycling, and disposal of new and emerging waste streams such as healthcare and electronic waste. We encourage our partners to participate in all these important undertakings. The DNR considers you as our significant allies in pursuing sustainable and just solutions to waste management and in achieving our vision of a healthy and waste-free society. On that note, we would like to thank again our partners from the provincial and municipal local government units, the business sector, non-government organizations, and civil society who have been actively promoting and supporting our advocacies here in the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, once again si Director Juan Miguel Cuna, no? Juan Miguel Cuna, na
Maraming
Director ng
salamat
EMB.
po sa isang napakaganda at talaga namang inspiring message, Yusek Cuna.
Next to deliver a message, may we request the Eco Waste Coalition's Board Secretary and Executive Director of Healthcare Without Harm, Southeast Asia. Let us give a round of applause to Mr. Ramon San Pascual.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Salamat po sa DNR ay pag-partner niya sa ating po dito para sa celebration na ito. Dalawang taon ng RA 1953. Ito po itong bata na mahalaga at makatuhan para sa layunin ang mahalaga ng ating kapilihan at ito sa kalusugan ng bawat mamayan na patungkol sa pagkamali ng ating mga kapulan. Lalo na ito sa kasahanan, pagkat, sa pagkakabili, sa mga hospital, sa mga organize, sa mga opisina, ilang na po ang opisina ng pamahalaan. Secretary Imato, Secretary Antipoda, Lutay Kuna, ating mga kapulikan na naririto, lahat po ng mga tinatawag at ang kasama po sa DNR, nabati po namin kayo. Sa kabila po ng mga palapit, marami na rin mga nagawa ang koalisyon ng Eco Waste bilang inyong partner at bilang inyong ito. Ito po isang bahagi pupuli ng mga non-government organization na makipag-liig, makipag-partner sa iba't ibang samahan at titignan ng kawaraan para paundarin ang ating bayan para may mga kapatataon po na kabilis po ay isa sa inyong mga naisip na kritipo. Ano din po, strong advocate for greater implementation of RA 9003. Nagtatry po kami magmodelo bilang mga samahan ng mga people organization, community-based group, mga asasasyon sa loob ng komunidad, sa loob ng mga hospital, sa loob ng mga opisina, na mag-develop po ang kung tawagin ay zero waste model building. Kabilang po sa mga ginagawa ko sa kailangan 20 taon, ang part sa inyo ang pagsisikap din ng mga non-government organization sa loob ng coalition na ito ay ang pagpapartner po rin namin sa iba't ibang lokalidad. Kabilang na po ang 6 na siyudad, 2 probinsya, isang island municipality, 4 na munisipyo, ang mga po ito ang Chile, 21 barangay, iba't ibang siyudad, ang Metro Manila, ang mga subdivision, 3 university, komunidad sa Bagong Pina, halimbawa na po, simbahan, mga palengke, at ako bilang kung pinagawa ng health department at liban pong hospital. Sa kalamihan, ang Manila, kaya mayroon dito sa probinsya, ay nagmumodelo po ng zero waste. Makakakita lalo na napagpigil sa paglalaba ng single-use plastic.
Good morning, Romy Muñoz. Kaya Miguel Paraan, magandang umaga po.
Pero hindi naman po. Ito po ay naman matiwali.
Salamat po sa panonood.
At ang kalutungan ng mamamayan ay bigyan din
Thank you for watching, Eugene Permahin,
kapaligiran.
Wilfred Solsos, magandang umaga.
Kami rin po ay nagtataguyod ng green job sa ating mga main worker. Tutulog po kami sa namumulenta ng ating mga basura. Nag-order ng iba't ibang mga job sa association ng mga MRF. At patuloy po kami makikipagtulak at nagpapatupad, tutulak ng mga opinansa sa lokal na government sa proper segregation, lalo na po katupatin ng local plastic ban habang wala pa po nationally legislated banning ng single-use plastic. At ganun din po, tinutulak po namin ang NIA. At matilas na po, part na NIA na, activity po dito, at makikipag-partner sa kapasatusin ng mga LGU. Sa madaling sabi po, kami po ay hindi lang nag-iingay sa mga bagay na hindi natutukan ng pamahalaan. Kung hindi pag-isipukan ito, seryoso ako na tayo sa kaya sa tulungan ng mga komunidad. Hindi lamang maging matinig, hindi lamang maging malutong, kundi magbigay ng kabuhayan, lalo na sa ating mahihirap sa mga barangay. Pamamagitan, pag-recycle, at ganoon din po ay muling pagpapagawa ng ating mga basura. Hindi po ito sapat. Wala po kami pagpapamalaki kahit marami na kami nagawa. Kaya hindi po kami natitiyak, inaabot sa 20 taon, sa 22 taon, wala nang ipatupad ang public maintenance. Sa fakto na nagiging witness tayo sa taon-taon ng pagbabahan, sa taon-taon na
Sa maabot, dito po yan sa DNR Central Office, dito po sa Visayas Avenue, Quezon City. So malapit lamang din po ito sa may City Hall ng Quezon City. So right now naririyan po si PNP Chief Guillermo Elazar. Naririyan na rin po si Secretary Roy Simato.
Mga kapamilya ng ating gobyerno, partikular ang kamay ng ating pamahalaan, pangunguna po ng ating Secretary Kapat, sa loob ng DN.
Hello po, LS Pano Vlog. Good morning po.
Para epektibong i-address halimbawa na ang single-use plastic. Marami na pong banta sa nagbabalik through legislation and through legislation. Tulungan po natin ito ang sekretary at alam po matapos ang termino ng ating Pangulo Duterte ay may kabatas ng gusto. Bilang po kami pagpapultulang ito para magiging ito ng ito sa Pinado at Kongreso. Alam po natin na maandar ay magpulan pa po. Sa mga dapat-araw nyo ito, kasama po namin kayo sa DNR, na bigyan talaga yung mga buhay na nabalik ng bumuo ang kayasa na nagbigay na ba ng batas. Ewan po natin kaya. At marami pa pong buhay na nakangalit kahit napagkatrabaho na sa basura at araw-araw sa nagpugin sila doon. Ay alam natin ang mapangalit ito sa buhay ng ating mga mga. Sumalit hindi pa po araw-araw natin ginaranas sa ating sarili papayaw at nangalit. Pagkamalipin po ako, ay pagmamanang ito po kung paano effective at seryoso binibigyan ng atensyon ng lokal na pamahalaan ng sa barangay at sa local household ang pag-prepare ang umulenta. Kaya ito po kasi pa po ang maraming makakain. kung gano'n din na kaya rin naman. Kami po sa mga NGO, hiniling po namin seryosohan at kilos at pagpatupad na batas ng Department of Environment. Binabati po namin kayo. Maraming salamat.
There you have it. Alright. So there you have it, the message of the Eco Waste Coalition's Board Secretary, Mr. Ramon San Pascual. Thank you very much, sir.
Dalawang beses natin naririnig. Ayan, sa dalawang beses natin naririnig yung Payasa strategy, no? Kasi kung babalikan natin, year 2000, nang meron itong batas na ito, sinusulong pa lang siya pinag-usapan sa Kongreso. So, nagkaroon na Payasa strategy at yun yung nag-push na kailangan. So, after the Payasa strategy, ay na-adapt itong batas na ito, which is RA 9003. At siyempre, marami pa usapin dyan, no? So, dati, RA 9003 ay Solid Waste Management Act, pero nilagyan siya nung ecological sa umpisa. So, yan. So, sabi nga kasi para ma-manage ng maayos yung ating mga basura, hindi na magkaroon ng isa pang Payasa strategy. Okay, so much for the trivia. Ating next speaker is the man of action. He is the Undersecretary for Solid Waste Management and Local Government Units Concerned and Supervising Undersecretary for the Strategic Communications and Initiative Service. And tayo ang kalikasan. So ladies and gentlemen, ang pambansang basurero ng Pilipinas, please all welcome Undersecretary Benny D. Antipor.
To the youngest, dahil sa sobrang sipag, Secretary of the Country, Secretary Roy A. Simato, sir. Our Undersecretary, Juan Miguel T. Cuna. Police Lieutenant General Guillermo Lorenzo T. Elezar. Police Major General Rodel O. Sermonia. Brigadier General Gabing D. Jawan. Police Brigadier General John Mitchell Amili. Police Major Romel Sobrido. Police Colonel Reynold Rosero. Police Captain Randy Ludovice. From the NBI, Attorney Eric M. Nuki. From the National Solid Waste Management Commission, Commissioner Romeo Hidalgo. From the National Solid Waste Management Commission, Vice Chairperson Christian Lau. DNR PMD Director, Engineer William P. Cuñado. SCIS Director, Hiro Masuda. Task Force Tayo ang Kalikasan, Executive Director, Maria Matilda Gadi. Mr. Ramon San Pascual of the Eco Waste Coalition. Eric Manado of the Zero Waste Philippines. Mercedes Donor of Iglas Kababaihan. Father Chris Pine or Chris Pine, Justice, Peace, and Integrity of Creation Incorporated. From the Orders of Friars Minors Philippines, Brother Fidel Benjamin Adawan. From MERS Philippines, Cheryl Ann M. De La Vega. Mr. Ramon San Pascual, the Executive Director of the Healthcare Without Harm. Fe Tayabas, Member Support Eco Waste Coalition. Lou Arsenio, Executive Director of the Archdiocese of Manila. Ian Mendoza, President, Smoky Mountain Cooperative. Jesse Deano, President, Iglas Kabataan. Louis Lizano, President, Samahang Mananambakan ng Pier 18. And of course, our brothers and sisters who are in webinar now, from the media, from the local government units, the Eco Waste Coalition, the non-government organizations, the National Solid Waste Management Commission, the sanitary landfill operators, the Environmental Management Bureau, regional offices, academics, and county. Good morning to all. Allow me to start by apologizing for not being able to accommodate everybody in this social call. As you all know, we are bound to follow the health protocols to ensure that participants and guests are protected. This hall can accommodate around 500 persons. However, since we live under a new normal, we can only allow about 50 persons, or 10% of its total capacity, so we beg for your indulgence. 20 years ago, former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo signed into law Republic Act 9003, or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000. This law provides the necessary policy, framework, and institutional mechanism to address the increasing volume of solid waste generated in the Philippines. The law also mandates the local government units to achieve 25% waste reduction through the establishment of an integrated solid waste management plans based on the implementation of 3 Rs: reduce, reuse, and recycle. 20 years later, the country still wallows in garbage despite the passage of RA 9003. Why? Because garbage is always considered the last and the least of our priority. Waste generation persistently increased from a daily average of around 37,000 tons per day in 2012 to 40,000 tons in 2016. At the close of 2020, the country has generated some 21.5 million metric tons of garbage. In Metro Manila alone, around 3.5 million metric tons of waste were generated. Out of this volume, the government was able to collect only 85%, and the remaining 15% of uncollected garbage is either burned or dumped in open dump sites. 20 years ago, we vigorously campaigned for the reduction of waste through the 3 Rs: reduce, reuse, and recycle. However, we have not been so successful. The 3 Rs 2 decades ago expanded to 5 Rs: reduce, reuse, recycle, refuse, and scrap. Yet, the country still struggles in managing the waste. Garbage collection has been inefficient. This contributed to waste ending up in our water bodies, in our steros, rivers, and lakes that ultimately drain into our seas and oceans. As I said earlier, in the system of implementation of government programs, solid waste seems to take the last spot in the order of priorities. Sadly, this system is also the practice of the local government units. We see an entirely different scenario now under this administration. Tama na po ang pagwawalang bahala. Ang ganitong gawin at pag-uugali ay kailangan ng tapusin. Kaya naman po sa administrasyon ng Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte, ang DNR sa pangunguna ng aming kalihim, Roy A. Simato, na siya rin namumuno sa National Solid Waste Management Commission, ay kumilos upang tuldukan na ang ganitong sitwasyon at linisin na ang ating kapaligiran at mga katubigan. Nitong nakaraang 2 taon, ang DNR at ang komisyon ay naging masigasig at seryosong nagpatupad ng mga programa sa tamang pamamahala ng basura at mahigpit na pinatupad ang batas. Dear friends, we are honored to present to you what we have accomplished in the last 2 years to be able to catch up with the demands of the Solid Waste Management Act. Modest as it may seem, we were able to see and feel some changes in the implementation of our solid waste management efforts. At this point, may I direct your attention to the video presentation on the highlights of concerted and collective efforts of the government and the civil society.
The estimated waste generation of the Philippines is around 21.5 million metric tons for 2020. Around 3.5 million metric tons are generated in Metro Manila, where each person is estimated to have contributed almost a kilogram of waste per day. Of this, only 85% of wastes were collected, and some 15% were either burned or have ended up in rivers and esteros and clogged the drainage system in Metro Manila. Despite government efforts, solid waste remains one of the country's major environmental problems. 2 decades after the enactment of Republic Act 9003, or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000, the problem on garbage persisted. In 2018, under the leadership of Secretary Roy A. Simatu, the DENR committed to provide solutions to the country's garbage woes and started the intensified campaign towards proper disposal and management of garbage. With this commitment, solid waste management in the country started gaining ground. Local government units were obligated to complete their 10-year solid waste management plans to address the garbage problem. The government's National Solid Waste Management Commission Chair, Secretary Roy Simatu, designated Undersecretary Benny Anticorda as alternate chair of the commission. Since then, partnership with LGUs has been revolutionized. Consultations and collaborative works were strengthened. Unrelentless technical assistance was provided in the preparation of LGU's solid waste management plans. These plans now contain appropriate strategies on residual, recyclable, biodegradable, and special wastes, including healthcare wastes. With 699 approved 10-year solid waste management plans accomplished from May 2018 to 2020, the National Solid Waste Commission has already approved 1,069 plans out of a total of 1,715 LGUs nationwide, including the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. This achievement represents unprecedented increase in the average output of the NSW Commission in just 1.5 years. Strongly determined to enforce the provisions of Republic Act 9003,
Ito po yung sa Cavite
the Commission,
nung nakaraan.
under the guidance of the Office of the DENR Undersecretary as acting chair, effected the closure of 165 illegal dump sites, including those in Boran, Bacolod, and San Fernando in Pampanga, Limay in Bataan, General Luna in Siargao Island, Calamba in Laguna, and more recently in Tanzac, Cavite. To show how serious the Commission is in implementing its mandate, several cases have been filed with the Office of the Ombudsman against erring local executives. Meanwhile, the number of sanitary landfills rose from only 135 in 2017 to 165 in 2018, 187 in 2019, 241 in all government offices through Resolution Number 2020 1363. A succeeding NSWMC Resolution Number 2020-1364, adopting the interim guidelines on the management of COVID-19 related healthcare waste to address the increasing volume of healthcare waste generated in health facilities.
Elenita
The
Banduri,
Commission
salamat sa
also
panonood.
issued NSWMC Resolution Number
Ignorance, Clarice
1380,
Carbajal.
adopting the guidelines on the waste analysis and characterization study, WACS, and its related manual. This resolution prescribed the coloring of waste bins or bags according to its classification: green for biodegradables, blue for recyclables, red for household special wastes, and black for residual waste. The guidelines on WACS serve as the prescribed guide for all government-initiated conduct of WACS and the standard and basis of all 10-year SWM plans submitted to the Commission for approval effective January 2021. Consistently advocating proper waste
Morning,
management
Sir
led to
Roberto. Good morning po.
conceptualization of the pioneering program Pera sa Basura ng Bata, not only to train the youth, but also to make them realize that there are incentives in the proper management of wastes. To secure support and cooperation, the first ever public consultation with sanitary landfill operators was conducted, resulting in firmed up, doable solutions on waste.
CHMK
To
TV.
provide assistance in waste recycling activities, 5 bio-waste shredders and composters were initially distributed to the LGUs of Pampanga and Bataan. Distribution of 173 bio-waste shredders and composters for LGUs within the Manila Bay region will follow. The persistent and no-nonsense implementation of the law on ecological solid waste is apparent in the changing landscape in terms of management of garbage in the country. With the continuing efforts on solid waste management, a cleaner and healthier environment is certainly not far from reality.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Dear friends, what we just saw are just snippets of our combined efforts in the last 2 years. In the next 2 years, we commit to work even harder. Tayo ay nagbigay na ng sapat na panahon this year and in the coming years. We will vigorously pursue the closure of all open dump sites and increase sanitary landfills nationwide. We will strictly monitor and enforce the rule of law on the issue of segregation at source. Coordinate with waste haulers to efficiently collect garbage and intensify our campaign on proper waste management with our PINAS, the Basura Cluster. We will also conduct house-to-house campaign to encourage households and communities to support and participate in government programs on proper waste management. We will accelerate, meaning we will excel and accelerate our efforts. As regard to the implementation of Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000, yes, we can do it and we must do it. Let us all manage our solid waste towards a cleaner, healthier, and progressive Philippines. Again, maraming salamat po.
Si Yusuf Benny Antiporda po yan.
Thank you very much, Undersecretary Benny.
Grabe, no? Dami na nila napasa.
Kasi nga we must makakaasa tayo na sa susunod na mga taon ay mas gaganda, mas magiging sustainable, mas magiging stronger yung implementasyon ng RA 9003. Sorry?
Yeah, I agree with you on bakit kaya laging nag- Anyway, so I agree with you on that, Miss Aileen. And we've heard our gentlemen of their powerful speeches, not only to encourage all of us to really participate and do our part in this cause, but to really give us a challenge, not only to do our responsibilities, but somehow to influence the people around us. Kasi ito nga madalas natin sinasabi, this will not only benefit the generation of today, but of course, the generation in the future. So, ayun, Miss Eileen, I guess this is the perfect time for me to call another gentleman after hearing the speeches of those gentlemen. Without further ado, please help me in giving the warmest welcome to the father of DNR. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the Honorable Secretary, Roy A. Simati.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. I would like to greet first the Director of the Environmental Management Bureau, the Bureau Director, Director Maniado, William. So, rinigrit ko yan kasi bago promote siya. Actually, mamayang studies ay mag-take out siya. Ano din? Gusto mo dito ka na mag-take out? Wala yan tayo kopya ng oath of office hindi ko pa masyadong memorize Kaya, ha? But I'd like to greet our guest. Like to greet Lieutenant General Isar. No, not ko rin kasi yung appointment dito, kasakali, several months from now, ha? Like also to greet another general. Marami pa rin general dito ngayon. General Sermonia. Is the Director of Police Community Relations. Ibig sabihin sa mga ganito ay siya ang nasa Philippine National Police at sa community. Kaya siya link between the community and the Philippine National Police. O meron rin isang general, General Chan Michel Amili of the Maritime Bureau. Kasama ko rin ito sa Montamos sa rehabilitation ng Manila Bay. Sa kanyang mga ibang other officers from the military or the police or here. I would also like to greet Yosek Kona, the secretary, and also to Secretary, Denny. For those who are on the virtual communities or here in the screen, good morning to all of you. Ano ba ibig sabihin itong 20 plus 2? Kung mathematics ito.
Kunin mo yung ano ko, yung tripod ko.
20, alam ko,
Yung parang selfie stick ko.
20.
May stand
It
yun
is
eh.
the reminder of 1903 na 20 plus 2 na ito. Ano ibig sabihin ito? 20 plus 2? Ganitong edad na ng batas na yan? Is that correct?
20 years na rin matas, 2 years na lang tayo sa term. At tapusin natin yung 20 years.
Oh, goal or target natin. 20 plus 2. So, ang ibig sabihin niya, yung batas na ito ay matanda na. Pero ito siguro pinakamatandang batas na hindi pa lahat na-comply. Pero pala tayong mga batas na hindi pa nasusunod. Ang hindi sinusunod, hindi nasusunod, at saka hindi sinusunod. Ganun ibig sabihin yan eh. Kaya, basahin ko muna itong first paragraph, second paragraph kaya ganyan. Ang record na ginawa. People cheered when the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000 was signed into law. Many had high hopes that our country's garbage problems will finally be solved. But this law, the Republic Act 9003, palagay ko itong Republic 9003 ito pinaka-popular na batas eh. Kasi every time na lang ito, di na natin alam kung ano mga RA, yung mga ibang batas na yan eh. Pero pag narinig ko yung 9003 na binabasa every year, for the past 20 years, very popular. But this law was neither promptly nor fully enforced. Well, I was appointed Secretary of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources in 2017. I immediately made solid waste management a top priority. In fact, one of my best and first accomplishment is the closure of Payatas. Bakit? Ang dami nagsasabi noon. Nung sinabi ko ay close Payatas, marami na agad pumunta sa akin. Bakit naman? Wala na tayo. Kailangan sunduin natin ang batas. Saka yung Payatas naman noon ay for a while, compliant naman kasi ito yata yung first sanitary landfill na ginawa. Pero nagkaroon mga tragedy dito eh. Maraming namatay dyan nang bumuhos. Pinipilit pa rin nila ng pakyat-akyat yung basura hanggang dumating yung isang malakas na ulan dyan sa Bagyo. Nag-landslide. Hindi landslide ito, garbage slide. Bumagsak yung garbage. Maraming namatay dyan sa tabi ng Payatas. Around Payatas is a community. Ang community na yan ay lahat nabubuhay sa garbage. Nandun sila eh. Naghihintay na darating yung garbage truck, bago nila itapon, ay inaano nila muna, hinihiwalay yung pwede sa katawan. So that is the unfortunate situation of our garbage problem in our country today. And naalala ko, kahit probinsyano ako, naalala ko nung bata pa kami eh. Bata pa kami. Siyempre mas matanda ko sa inyo ngayon. Saan po tayo naglalagay ng basura noon, probinsya? Sa likod ng bahay, pupukay ka dyan, ilalagay mo yung ano doon. Pag napuno yan, sarado, pukay ka ulit. Wala doon, hanggang doon years. Susunogin pa. Ganyan doon yung garbage problem natin. Pero, dito naman sa Manila, paano naman ilan rito, nabubuhay yung mga tao rito? Sa garbage. Meron rin tayo sanitary landfill na una sa Payatas dito sa Quezon City. Pero yung mga iba naman, sa mga, ay gano'n pa rin, hukay. Pag naubos na yung hukay, sinusunod sa likod ng bahay. Nagbawal Clean Air Act, bawal naman ng incineration. So hindi nga pwede magsunog. Anong ginagawa dito sa Manila? Sa garbage. Hinihintay yung garbage truck, parating sa iyo, that is the role of the local government unit kasi. Local government unit is responsible on the garbage dito sa atin. Ngayon, kung hindi naman nadaanan ng garbage truck yung lugar mo, pasensya ka na lang. Saan mo naman dinadala yung garbage pagkatapos? Itapon mo sa Esteros, itapon mo sa Pasig River, itapon mo sa Manila Bay. Ganyan po situation noon at saka ngayon. Kaya, nang nagkaroon itong Mandapos Law o Mandapos Directive ng Supreme Court, we have to conduct rehabilitation of Manila Bay. Dalawa yung problema natin sa Manila Bay. Yung quality ng tubig, gandahan, at saka alisin mo basura. Yan. Yung baywalk na linilinisan natin yan, ilang tonelada na garbage na hukay natin yan. Saan galing yung garbage? Accumulation ng tapon ng tao yan. Hanggang ngayon pa nga inililisan pa natin ngayon kapag nagtatapon mga tao.
Nasa ilat eh.
So, anong ibig sabihin yan? We have to do something about this. We have to enforce the law. Ngayon, tanungin ko, bakit naman hindi dumadaan yung garbage truck yan? Responsibility ng local government unit yan. Nakagawa na, yung kontrata nila sa garbage dyan, ay meron ng designated na daanan yung garbage truck. Pag hindi mo nadaanan yung lugar na yan, wala na, tapos dadalhin yung garbage mo. Dadalhin mo sa mga... Ang karamihan mga informal settlers dyan sa tabi ng mga Esteros River ay hindi makakapasok ang garbage truck yan. So saan nila tinatapon? Sa Esteros. So yan po ang situation natin sa 9003 dito sa Manila. Sa probinsya naman, every time na pupunta ako sa mga DNR offices dyan, tanungin ko yung aking DNR officer dyan, ilan ang munisipyo dito sa probinsya mo ay meron ng sanitary landfill. Out of 20, average 20 municipalities, isa o dalawa lang yan ang may treatment plant. Sanitary landfill. Paano naman ngayon yung mga naiwan yan, 90% dump site pa rin. Kaya nang sinabi ni Yosek na mayroon talaga tayong kampanya na dapat wala ng dump site. Saan kayo nagagawin ng municipality at kanilang basura? Di naman mo naman masabi na problema mo na yan. Problema mo yan, LGU yan AU yan paano naman sir, magkano lang naman yung amin sa munisipyo. Sa several portion of that ay ginagamit sa environment, which is 9003. So ngayon, problema ng municipality mayor, ay sige, gandahan mo yan, otherwise masuspenso ka. Pag nasuspenso ka pa naman, wala ka ng chance na panalo sa eleksyon. Ito yung mga problema, dilema ng probinsya. Hanap kami ng paraan dyan kasi kailangan millions ang gastusin mo kasi dyan pagpatayo ka ng sanitary landfill ngayon, ano siya to? Pasasaranduhan raw ni Sir Adi, ito? Yosef by Benny. Sinong Benny yan? Sabi ko, Benny, ang tipod dahil ito yung mga dyan. Nasarado ng mga website. Ano ba yung last na pinasaraduhan mo dyan? Tansa?
Sa Cavite.
Nakita ko sa television. Ang luwag-luwag na dam site yun. Ilang hektarya?
6 hectares.
6 hectares of dam site. What does that mean? Ilang 6 hectares na yan, hindi ka lang makagawa ng sanitary landfill mo.
Lawak.
Nasa batas kasi yan. Ano ba yung nasa batas kasi 9003? Simple. Bawal ang dam site. Convert your dam site into sanitary landfill. Nandiyan yung batas eh. And yet, only less than 10% ay nakakomply. So 90% hindi nakapag-comply. Sabi nila, sir, wala naman kami pambili eh. Wala kayo pang gastos eh. Sinabi ko kay Yusek Benny, gawa ko ng paraan kung paano ka magagawa ng sanitary landfill na hindi man mag-equal na 100 million. Kasi umaabot ng 100 million ng isang sanitary landfill. Sabi niya, kung makapagawa kang sanitary landfill ng 2 million, 5 million lang yan, gawin mo. Paano yun? Paano tumigit sanitary? Kasi sanitary landfill, hindi sa landfill at sabi sanitary. So anong gagawin mo doon? Gagawin mo ay lahat ng mga pinagbawal dyan ay huwag mo ilagay dyan sa sanitary landfill. So ito ngayon na pinapagawa ko, design ni sanitary landfill na hindi na masyadong magastos. So yun ngayon na ipapagawa. Yan ang mangyayari dyan, Yosef Benny. Pag pinagbawal natin ang dump site, yan ang alternative. Wala na talagang ibang solusyon yan. Bawal na magsunog. That's violation of the Clean Air Act. So ito ngayon yung aking nakikita, pero kaya kang mapasahin ko pala dito, pinulat mo, Benny.
Kapal-kapal yata.
Earlier, we showed a video that highlights our accomplishments. I am honored to report that we have gained significant ground since 2018 in implementing the Political Solid Waste Management Act of 2000. It is called 9003. Ulitin ko na yan. Particularly in the closure of open dam sites, the establishment of material recovery facilities, and helping local government units develop their 10-year solid waste management plans. Maalaala ko nga eh, sa aming maliit na bayan sa Ilocos Norte sa Bangi, ako kauna-unang cabinet secretary noon, DNR, pati sa probinsya namin. Yung aming mayor doon, kapatid ko, former PNP officer, General Ray. Sabi ko nga sa kanya, talo mo ko, mayor ka. Sabi ko sa kanya, di ba, secretary ka naman eh. Sabi niya, ikaw, pero yan ang kapatid ko na yan, yan ang pinakamagaling sa amin, magkakapatid. Tatlo kami magkakapatid, nag-graduate man kami lahat sa PMA. Graduate kami lahat yan eh. Pero yung youngest namin yan, class 77 dito sa PNP aside natin. Siya ng mga pinakamagaling sa amin, magkakapatid. Madirector yan, grade 1 ng graduation na vice ko. Akin, cake owner lang ako noon eh. Yung isa naman, secretarian dati, ako, premier pick. Pero sabi ko naman, 1 star lang yung kapatid ko eh. 1 star. Tulad yung isang 1 star dito. Sabi ko naman, nag-1 star naman ako. 2 star rin. Nag-3 star rin, katulad nila. Nag-4 star rin naman ako. So sabi ko, kahit fifth place lang tayo. Naman ang style rin ni President Ken. Sabi ko kaya Ken. Meanwhile, our action against open... Ay, teka muna, nakalimutan ko yung kapatid ko na yan. Sinabi ko sa kanya, ako secretary. Kaya may batas na 9003, alam mo ba yan? Sabi sa kanya. Ang isip pa siya, 00. 003 yung mga na yun, batas dyan sa downside, garbage. Ano ba dito sa ating bayan? Downside pa rin. Ako, ayusin mo by all means. Yan, ayaw ko yung downside. Eh, wala na kami punto eh. Anong walang punto? May era kayo? May era kayo? Eh, ilan lang naman na naibibigay yung sa era. Eh, talagang kaya nga ikaw mayor eh. Ikaw maghanap ng paraan dyan. Huwag na lang mangurapot. Ayan. Gumawa siya, mag-design ka ng ano. Kung 100 million natin, alisin mo yung mga hindi masyadong kailangan yan. Ang hindi masyadong kailangan yan is the treatment plant doon. May treatment plant component kasi yun eh. Yung 100 million na yan eh. So, alisin mo yan, mababa na yan. May mga kailangan lang naman, kailangan matakpan every time na may basura in the day, afternoon, dapat i-cross mo na yan, itakpan mo. Then after that, walang pakitang mga lagaw-lagaw dyan, at saka yung niches, yung katas ng garbage, kailangan walang babagsak dyan na pupunta sa mga creek o sa river.
Good morning.
Yan ang paghintuan mo na yan, hindi nalalangaw at saka hindi yung katas dyan. Pag wala yan, pag alis mo na yan, that is considered a sanitary landfill. Ngayon, may limit ka naman dyan. So, pinagsabihan kung ginawa niya yun, ay bako magkano lang nagastos nila, which is equal to their era for 1 year. So, ano naman yun, nagawa rin naman. So, tama, very reasonable naman yung ating, ano ngayon, yan. But, yung paggamit ng, yung pagsunog dyan sa, kasi doble na kasalanan mo yan. Hindi ka na naglalagay ng, ng sanitary landfill, nag-violate ka pa ng cleaner. Meanwhile, our action against open dump sites has been relentless. Thus, I commend the efforts of Undersecretary Denny D. Antiporta, my alternate chair in the National Solid Waste Management Commission, in spearheading the closure of open dump sites in Bataan, Pampanga, and just 2 weeks ago in Tansa, Cavite. Ikaw ba pinakamaraming nasaraduhan na Undersecretary even before our term? Since nag-start na 9003, ilan na nasa... Malaki na yung score mo ah. His aggressive yet decisive move is being followed by our Environmental Management Bureau regional directors nationwide. Kaya as of yesterday at 7 p.m., report that reached our office indicated that we have thus far closed a total of 38 open dump sites in the region. 38 open dump sites in the region. Hindi nyo nakita ang upgraded figure na yan sa video kanina dahil fresh pa ang report na yan. The report also states that Region 4B, Calabarzon ba? Was able... Mimaropa states that Region 4B or Mimaropa 4B, Mimaropa? 4A pala ito, no? Was able to close 17 dump sites. Kung parang yung palakpak na yan, parang ano lang dapat hindi lang 17 dump sites yan. While Region 6 was able to close 5. All the regions 5. Majority of the regions were able to close 2 dump sites each. Mukha yata kulang pa ito, Benny. Ah, isang araw lang yun. Nako, kung 30 days, di multiply by 30 yan. There are regions that may have missed the reporting that deadline, but I presume that they were able to accomplish naman this task. Congratulations to the regions for a job well done. Again, following the move of Yusek Antiporda, our EMB regional directors will continuously undertake closure of open dam sites within the respective areas of jurisdiction. And this is my directive to them and my directive to you, Benny. All open dam sites must be closed by the end of March this year. Again, all dam sites must be closed by the end of March this year. And to prove how serious we are, the NSW, the MC, held a public consultation last Friday, January 22, regarding the list of the non-environmentally acceptable products and packaging. Though we are experiencing heavy resistance from the plastic industry, we will still push through in coming up with a list of non-environmentally acceptable products and packaging. We have to speed this up, Benny. We will make sure that non-environmentally acceptable products and packaging will not be left behind in the waste management of our country. I know very well, ang plastic na yan, nandyan, nakatambak dyan sa Manila Bay, especially dyan sa Baywalk, sari-sari. In fact, when you go to El Nido in Palawan, there is an area there, yung the westernmost part of El Nido, ay tubig yan eh. Baka makita ka ng plastic dyan, hindi naman nagpa-practice masyado mga tao dyan. Ang dami-dami. Saan nagaling? Galing sa ibang lugar. Other, outside of the country or nahulog ng mga yan. Napunta lahat yan, mga plastic na yan. Dyan sa El Nido. May mga lagon-lagon dyan eh. Lalo na ito habagat. Nandyan na. Saan nagagaling? A western part of Palawan, wala ka ng iba dyan eh. Despite our significant gains, a great deal remains to be done because of our volume of waste generation continues to grow. We must stop this trend going forward. We aim to build a stronger collaboration with the civil society towards sustainable solid waste management while encouraging the participation of all stakeholders in reducing the volume of plastic waste generation. I hope too that the local executive realize how important the role they play. In the implementation of RA 9003, kayo ang isa sa mga pangunahing susi, the key sa pagsulong ng batas patungkol sa wastong pamamahala ng basura sa ating bansa. Ano pag-style kasi ngayon sa basurahan ngayon dito? Benny, the government gives the budget to the local government units for waste management. And sila ngayon ang nangunguna sa pagkolekta ng basura. So they will make a contract with a ano tawag nun? Ano tawag nun?
Yung holy.
Oo. Yung may garbage truck dyan na dyan, nag-ikot-ikot. Yan ang kinukontrata ng local government yun eh. So, the blame of improper, talaga, it still lies on yung mga tao rin. Kasi kung maglalagay sila ka dyan, dinagay dyan sa harapan ng bahay, dumanyang aso, binubulat-lat na yun yan, kinukuha yung Pag dumating naman yung garbage truck, Yung mga naburatlot na yan, hindi niya kinukuha na. Kinukuha na lang yung meron ano. Ano na nangyayari sa atin dati? So, yung ating paglilinis ng Manila Bay ay nagkaroon na rin ng bunga. We have a program now on the esteros. Ngayon, lahat ng mga esteros, we have employed. Ilan na yung tao natin dyan sa mga esteros? I don't know kung alam nila ito kung anong tao natin. Special here. We have hired over 1,000 estero, we call it estero ranger. Ang ibig sabihin niyan, ang trabaho itong estero rangers ay they have an area to clean, they have an area to manage, and they have an area to tell the community, not educate the community. Dapat kayo magtapon. Kung magtapon kayo, dito lang niya, kami na kukuha, huwag na nilang itapon sa estero. So we have 1,800 yata yan na naka-designate, assign sa mga estero. So ito ngayon yung nakikita natin in Metro Manila. Malinisan natin ng esteros kasi yung esteros nito pupunta rin sa Pasig River Karamihan pupunta na sa Pasig River Karamihan ito, pag dumaan sa Pasig River, pupunta uli sa Manila Bay, dadaan dyan sa Paseco. Yan na pupuntahan yun. Kaya maraming mga basura dati dyan. Pero ngayon, to be thankful, wala ka na masyadong makita na basura dyan sa esteros, the rivers, and Manila Bay. Parang lang natin yan. That is to me, it is an accomplishment of the enforcement of night erosion in Metro Manila. If you see the esteros clean, and that is our contribution to the implementation of 9003. I hope that the management of waste is not exclusive duty of the government, but of everyone. Every Filipino should be responsible for taking good care of our environment. Meron naman uli akong favorite na sinasabi ko, aywan ko kung may narinig na ninyo ito, yung dyan sa may, punta ka sa Jollibee, punta ka sa McDonald's, looking at the culture of the Filipino as far as the appreciation of solid waste management. For our sabi ko, kung punta ka, kakain ka sa dito sa Manila or in the provinces, nagtanong ako sa mga tao natin, kung pupunta ka, kakain ka sa Jollibee, halimbawa McDonald's, meron garbage bin dun Pag natapos mong kumain dyan sa kinakainan mo, sino sa inyo ang dinadala at kanilang pinakainan sa garbage? Ang karamihan ng sumagot ay talagang, bihira Ngayon, if you eat in, let's say, McDo in the States, even in Europe, wala kang makikitang naiiwan sa lamesa. Dinadala talaga nila sa garbage yan Kasi ganyan na yung kanilang ugali. That's their culture. But sa atin naman, bakit iniiwanan natin sa lamesa? Sabi natin, ang reason natin, yan, meron waiter naman yan, meron taga-ganyan So ito ngayon ang isang gusto kong baguhin naman sa culture ng pagtatapon ng basura. Hindi naman lahat-lahat yan, naipaubaya mo sa gobyerno ito, meron rin responsibility ng mga tao. Also to manage their respective garbage. So in that note, in anticipation of everyone's cooperation, I almost forgot I think there was a representative here of the one I would like to greet Mr. Ramon San Pascual. I, I'm sorry I missed you. And you are representing Eileen. See, Eileen? Eco-Waste Coalition. Oh yeah. I would like to emphasize also because this is really a partnership of NGOs and National Secretary in implementation of nationality with the ito yung linya nito. And we have to strengthen this one because sabi ko nga, the government cannot do this alone. And we have already to solicit the assistance of the citizenry, the private sector, in the enforcement of 9002. And yeah, I was listening to you a while ago about this single-use plastic. We are one in this, and karamihan ang napulot dyan sa burak ng baywalk. Naku, daming talagang plastic yan. I think if you can, saan galing mga ito? Ang dami kaya tignan mo siguro yung mga plastic na yan. Yung mga plastic pa nung panahon ng mga 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Hindi na ngayon ginagamit ang mga plastic na yan kasi hindi na yung brand na yan hindi na maano eh. But nandyan doon pa. So if you can imagine, kaya ko naman na if we can mobilize the citizenry naman, karamihan dito, yung mga single-use plastic, yung nandyan sa mga sari-sari store, yung sa may mga probinsya, karamihan probinsya dyan. Yung yan, yung shampoo, yung na lang maliliit, yung nandyan, yan ba yun? We have to find a way So with that, medyo mahaba-haba yung aking speech tungkol pa dito sa sinulat ko. Anyway, the presence of the Philippine National Police dito, PNP officers, ay very significant because especially with the community relations with the PNP, for us to, this is really a multi-sectoral approach in maintaining or with the objective of towards a stronger and sustainable solid waste management. Zero waste month. Zero waste month, kailan ba ito? Every month ba? Ha? January is the zero waste month. Ano ibig sabihin itong zero waste month? Walang waste? Or there is a way of
reminding the people of reduction and reuse, refuse.
Yeah,
Recycle.
yes, the objective is zero. Approach zero. But if you, minimal na lang siguro nandiyan na waste. Kasi kuminsan naman, hindi mo naman kailangan itapon, tinatapon mo eh. So, ano talaga yan? So with that, I would like to extend my thanks for your presence here, especially with the Philippine National Police and the Maritime. Problema rin kasi natin dyan sa Manila Bay, kuminsan, ang mga waste dyan, nakikita na hindi naman tinatapon dyan sa tabi-tabi. Tinatapon yata sa sa barko. Yung mga arrivals na mga galing for several days of travel, voyage coming from their countries, pag nakapark sila dyan sa harapan ng pier, ay yung garbage na naipon nila ay nandyan. Di ba kinukuha ito ng kinukuha ito ng meron yata silang yogurt, the ship, inspect the ship, and then kinukuha yung mga basura, magbabayad sila. Pero sila, para hindi magbayad, itapon na lang doon. Ganun ang nakukuha natin. If we will be able to solve this problem, General, ay malaking bagay ito. By the time naman ito, nandiyan sa sino pa kay PPA, nag-inspect ito sa mga vessels, foreign vessels na dumating sa atin, sa pier. Ano bang agency yun? PPA o sa Coast Guard? Yung mga rebels, So this is a joint effort na lang natin, At saka yung mga I would like to solve this problem already in the Baywalk, Manila Bay. And those things that we have to solve, the garbage problem and the solid, water quality. Kung matapos natin ito, masusunod natin yan, then we will say that we have accomplished our mission in the Manila Bay. With that, maraming salamat. Thank you very much.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the keynote speech of the Honorable Secretary of Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Honorable Secretary Roy A. Simatu. Again, a round of applause for him. Thank you very much, sir. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, we shall now proceed to another highlight of today's activity. You know what, for everybody's information, in our battle for a sustainable and proper solid waste management, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources has embarked on various efforts and operations with partner agencies and other group organizations in different areas in the country. These efforts evidently complement or harnesses the responsibilities played by the government and stakeholders on solid waste management, which in one way or the other strengthen partnerships and alliances. At this juncture, and to recognize partner agencies and stakeholders, may I call on the Honorable Secretary Roy A. Simatu to be assisted by Undersecretary Benny D. Antiborda on stage to lead the awarding of certificates and plaques.
May pahabol-habol. Happy birthday, General Sir Wunya. I'm very happy that you celebrate your birthday here today. Solid waste management pa naman ito. So, tulungan mo lang kami on your birthday.
Okay, so for our first awardee, certificate of recognition is presented to Police Captain Randy B. Dovise, Chief Intelligence and Investigation Branch, Regional Maritime Unit, National Capital Region, Philippine National Police Maritime Group, for keeping peace and order during the issuance of cease and desist order and closure of open dump site in Barangay Saugulan, Tanza, Cavite. His immediate action has contributed to the successful implementation of the Republic Act 9003 of the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000. Given this 26th day of January 2021 at the DNR building, Visayas Avenue, Quezon City. Signed, Benny D. Antiporda, Undersecretary for Solid Waste Management and Local Government Units concerned. May we request a short message from Police Captain Dudovise?
All right. So thank you very much, sir. And another awardee, let me read to you the content of the certificate. Certificate of recognition is presented to Police Major Romel ZG Sobrido, Station Chief, Northern National Capital Region, Maritime Police Station, Philippine National Police Maritime Group, for keeping peace and order during the issuance of cease and desist order and closure of open dock sign in Barangay Sakut Ulan, Tanzac, Cavite. His immediate action has contributed to the successful implementation of Republic Act 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000. Given this 26th day of January 2021 at the DNR Building, Visayas Avenue, Quezon City, signed Benny Abicorda, Undersecretary for Solid Waste Management and Local Government Unit Concerns. Thank you very much, sir, and congratulations.
Next is certificate of recognition is presented to Police Colonel Reynold A. Rosero, Chief Regional Maritime Unit, National Capital Region, Philippine National Police Maritime Group, for keeping peace and order during the issuance of cease and desist order and closure of open dump site in Barangay Sahod Ulan, Tanzac, Cavite. His immediate action has contributed to the successful implementation of Republic Act 9003 or Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000. Given this 26th day of January 2021 at the DNR Building, Visayas Avenue, Quezon City. Signed, Benny D. Antiporda, Undersecretary for Solid Waste Management and Local Government Unit Concerned. Congratulations, sir.
All right, thank you very much, partner. And this one is a plaque of recognition. And this is being presented to Ecological Waste Coalition of the Philippines for its firm commitment and active involvement in the initiatives of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources that aim to address various environmental issues and concerns on solid waste management. As DNR partner, it has shown dedication to ensure the full and beneficial use of the country's natural resources towards sustainable development through its programs and projects with the communities. Given this 26th day of January 2021, during the Solid Waste Management Stakeholders Strategic Dialogue as part of the 20th year anniversary of Republic Act 9003 at the DNR Building, Visayas Avenue, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Roy A. Simatu, DNR Secretary. Thank you very much, sir. And the plaque is being received by the Board Secretary, Mr. Ramon San Pascual. Congratulations, sir.
Our next plaque of recognition is presented to Ms. Cheryl Ann M. De La Vega, Philippine Head of Delivery, Merck's Philippines, for her zealous dedication and unwavering commitment for the upkeep of a healthy environment, which she pursued with vigor beyond her professional duties. Her selfless engagement in the endeavor impacted greatly on the trust of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources to protect the environment of the country. Given this 26th day of January 2021, during the Solid Waste Management Stakeholders Strategic Dialogue, as part of the 20th year anniversary of the Republic Act 9003 at the DNR Building, Visayas Avenue, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Roy Simatu, DNR Secretary. Congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you very much. And another plaque of recognition is presented to Police Brigadier General John Mitchell V. Hamili, Director, Philippine National Police Maritime Group, in grateful recognition of his valuable partnership with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources in the implementation of its solid waste management activities and in the rehabilitation of Boracay Island and Manila Bay. As the vanguard of the country's maritime security, he lives up to the motto, by land and sea, we overcome, recognizing that the effective upkeep of our environment is a way of overcoming the many threats against it. Given this 26th day of January 2021, during the Solid Waste Management Stakeholders Strategic Dialogue as part of the 20th year anniversary of Republic Act 9003 at the DNR Building, Visayas Avenue, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Roy A. Simatu, DNR Secretary. Congratulations, sir. And maraming salamat po.
Okay, so plaque of recognition is presented to Attorney Czar Eric M. Luque, Head of the Environmental Crime Division, National Bureau of Investigation. In grateful recognition and appreciation of his continuous partnership with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources in the implementation of its solid waste management and other environmental activities. His notable involvement and commitment greatly contributed to the successful implementation of the DNR environmental laws. Given this 26th day of January 2021, during the Solid Waste Management Stakeholders Strategic Dialogue as part of the 20th year anniversary of RA 9003 at the DNR Building, Visayas Avenue, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Roy A. Simatu, DNR Secretary.
Thank you very much. And this plaque of recognition is presented to Police Major General Rodel O. Sermonia, Directorate for Police Community Relations, Philippine National Police, for keeping peace and order during the issuance of cease and desist order and closure of open dump site in Limay, Bataan when he was still the Regional Director of Regional Police Office Region 3. His notable involvement and commitment greatly contributed to the successful implementation of Republic Act 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000. Given this 26th day of January 2021, during the Solid Waste Management Stakeholders Strategic Dialogue, as part of the 20th year anniversary of the Republic Act 9003 at the DNR Building, Visayas Avenue, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Roy A. Simatu, DNR Secretary. Thank you very much, sir, and congratulations.
Last but not the least, plaque of recognition is presented to Police Lieutenant General Guillermo Lorenzo T. Elizar, Deputy Chief of Administration for the Philippine National Police, for his firm leadership that led to the active engagement of the Philippine National Police officers of Metro Manila in maintaining peace and order and public safety during the operations and activities of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. His notable involvement and commitment greatly contributed to the success of the government's efforts in protecting our environment, particularly in Metro Manila when he was still the Director of the National Capital Region Police Office. Given this 26th day of January 2021, during the Solid Waste Management Stakeholders Strategic Dialogue as part of the 20th year anniversary of RA 9003 at the DNR Building, Visayas Avenue, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Roy A. Simatu, DNR Secretary. Congratulations, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. May we now request Police Lieutenant General Guillermo Lorenzo Elizar to speak on behalf of all the awardees. Sir, maraming salamat and congratulations. Announce.
Thank you. Thank you very much to our beloved Secretary, Roy Simatu, Yusek Vivian Porta, and to the entire officials and staff of DNR. In behalf of all the awardees, particularly the Philippine National Police, with the Maritime Group, as well as the Bureau of Investigation, and all of us who were given this honor to be awarded with this plaque of recognition, we are really indeed grateful for your recognition. Alam niyo po, nung pumunta kami dito na imbitahan, I was just thinking that we'll be attending this anniversary. And knowing that we are with other awardees who have contributed, recognized for the contribution, ito po ay malaking pasasalamat. The PNP, as you all know, have been there to assist all the government agencies in all their respective mandates. And DNR is one among the agencies on which the PNP want to support. I've been talking with Major General Rodel Sermonia who is, by the way, celebrating his birthday today, para patuloy natin. And he was telling me about the project that we have launched since 2018. I can still remember the creation of Kaligtasan, or Kaligtasan at Kalikasan, warriors, on which through the effort of DNR, in collaboration of the Philippine National Police, we have mobilized all these warriors to support the DNR in its mandate to protect our environment for the attainment of sustainable solid waste management. Initially, we have mobilized these warriors na I still remember na andun pa rin si Yusek Belli at Borda on one of the occasions on which the volunteers from the different barangays of Metro Manila were there. You were there to represent our beloved Secretary. Ikaw pa ngayon nagbigay ng speech noon to encourage all of them to be warriors kasama natin. And the PNP is very happy to be part of this noble endeavor. The maritime group is in here giving their contribution, and we are really glad that while we are not expecting for any recognition, indeed, it is a blessing for all of us. Said in behalf of the PNP, led by our Chief Police General Devon Sinas, we are indeed very grateful for this honor and recognition. Maraming salamat!
Thank you very much, Police Lieutenant General Guillermo Lorenzo Salazar. Maraming salamat po, sir, and congratulations to all our awardees. Maraming salamat po sa inyong patuloy na pagsuporta para sa ating advokasya at adikain na gawin or ibalik ang tunay na ganda ng ating environment. So, with that, before we move on to the next part of our program, let us all give a round of applause to the Honorable Secretary Roy A. Simanto. Sir, thank you very much for joining us. In as much as he would want to stay with us, he has a very or equally important activity. So maraming salamat, sir. But don't you worry, Undersecretary Benny D. Antiporda will be staying with us the whole activity, and he will be here to answer all your questions and your concerns. So thank you very much again, Honorable Secretary. Okay, so I guess, partner, we shall move to the next part of our program, and this is actually very exciting because we'll be having a dialogue. But in a dialogue, we just can't, accept or entertain questions or concerns. We need to have mechanics or guidelines in order for us to be able to address the concerns carefully and organized. Tama ba, So, partners, would you like to share kung ano yung ating magiging senaryo para sa ating dialogo na mangyayari?
Ayan, salamat, Carl. At siyempre magsisimula na yung ating dialogue, At alam mo, partner, doon sa ating Zoom, masyado nang mainit ang baritaktangan doon sa ating Zoom chat. Kanina ko pa siya nakikita at nababasa, So, for the dialogue, which is isa sa importanteng parte ng ating
Hello po, magandang umaga sa mga nakatutok po sa ating live sa Kuya Rose TV. Ayan, live na live po tayo dito sa central office ng DNR.
All those who will be asking questions first ay kailangan is you state your name and your organization or your institution before you ask the question.
Hello, my super trump. Dun sa magandang umaga.
Okay, so parang maiksi na talaga.
Tanghali na pala.
Okay, so next, if you're joining via Zoom, you could raise your hand so the technical team will be able to get and facilitate you numbering.